Dr. Roth says we should turn to 24. Well, try that and we'll see if there's anything good on that page. There we go. אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך סלע, אשריהם שגלו, אשריהם שאדוני אלוהי, תהילה לרבי לדוי פח מזק ואתם לכל רחמה יהודי לבני הרם סומך אדוני עיני כל אליך ישראל ותח ידך ומצביע לכל הרצון צדיק תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד ואנחנו נברך ימי אתה ועד עולם hallelujah. Page 26, the Chatzi Kaddish. Following the Chatzi Kaddish, I'll begin the Amidah. Please join me for the Kedusha and go back for your own private Amidah. A chance to reflect on the week that was, let go of it so that we can move towards Shabbat. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemirava v'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayedecho b'Yisrael magalav zman kariv imru amen yehei shmirav rak le'olam u'me'al mayaha yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitorma v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yidlal shmei l'kusha b'richu le'elam yiku v'chata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechmata demiram v'yamaha v'yamru amen. We rise. Adonai sefatak tiftach u'v'yagid tehilatecha Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el הגדול הגיבור ונורא אל עליון גומר חסדים טובים וקונה יעקב וזוכר חסדי אבות ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למד שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומשה ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיים מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד אתה מחכה חיים וחסד מחיים מתים ורחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונות לשני עבר מי כמוך בגברות ומי זה מלך מלך ממין חיים אז מי הישועה ונאמן אתה לחיי המתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים נקדש שמה בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום כך כתוב ביד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו למתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו דברי קודשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם מלך ציון לדוב הדור הללויה לדוב הדור נגיד הולך ולנצח נחזרים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לאמוש לעולם ועד כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש Page 46, Yitkadal v'yikadash merava ve'alma divra chirutei v'yemlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayetecho v'Yisrael magalav zman kariv imru amen yesh merav rag le'olam u'me'amaya yeparach v'yishtavach v'yipar v'yitorma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yidlal shmei kusha b'richu le'elam yinku b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechmata dem v'yoram ve'alma v'imru amen titkavel tzalchon avoton v'cho Yisrael kadam uvon v'yishmaya v'imru amen yesh lamaram v'yishmaya v'chayim aleinu v'cho Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'chol Yisrael v'imru amen. We rise, page 48 for aleinu. Aleinu leshaveach ladon hakol, latet gerula leyotzeh breshit, shelo asanu kegayei aratzot, ve'lo samanu kimishpachot hadama, shelo sam elkeinu kahem, ve'gahor aleinu kecho hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שכינתו לתקן עולם במלכות שדי. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ובשמו echad. Continue as we conclude Friday the 20th of Elul. We remember Reuven Rogowski, the father-in-law of Betsy Rogowski, and Shirley Siegel, the mother of Arthur Siegel. We also remember those who passed away in the last 11 months whose souls are connected to our community. Jan Harrison, Judy Fertel Lane, Zoli Rubin, Maya Rothbart, Nancy Barat, Pauline Schwartz, Joseph Israel, Norma Stoller, Suzanne Winkleman, Sheldon Siegel, Belle Rubin, Phyllis Shai, Kevin Kreitman, Wallace Bratt, Maury Herskovitz, Thomas Klimko, Helen Grubner, Rudolph Keller, Helen Goodman, Shana Strasburger, David Stolberg, Sherwin Wilner, Linda Ginsberg, Flo Rita Block, Hanan Weisman, Judy Martin, and Marcel Halberstadt. We elevate their souls higher in the heavens, closer to our hearts, mourners Kaddish, on the screen in front of us and in our Sidurim. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemerava. Amen. Be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol be'Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'emru amen. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulamei almaya yiparach v'yishtavach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei kudsha b'reichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma ve'emru amen. Yehei shlama rava min shamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. My friends, it is an honor and a pleasure to open up this fantastic weekend. As I wrote in the weekly email, There are 10 levels of prayer, so teaches the Zohar. And above them, some say it's the 10th and some say above them, is song. Song opens up the gates of heaven in ways that very few other things can. And song brings healing to the soul. Our souls have hurt. Our souls have shriveled up. Our souls have undergone all kinds of trials. And it is time. We have healed our bodies. We have had vaccines. We have had medicines. We wear masks. We protect ourselves. But our souls need something else. Our souls need us to come together. Our souls need us to pray together. Our souls need us to sing. And it is my honor and privilege to, officially open the Charlene and Seymour Unger Scholar in Residence weekend, where we are welcoming Rabbi Josh Warshawsky, who will be teaching us Torah on so many different levels. Torah of the soul, Torah of the song, Torah of the prayer book, Torah of the scrolls. And so tonight we start and we sing and we begin the process of healing our souls as we sing and welcome in Shabbat. One final word. Somebody wrote me an email and asked, are we supposed to sing along? Well, the first song will answer that because that's what it's about.
Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Come 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 let us sing. Havana Shira. Come let us sing. 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 Havana Shira. Havana Shira. Havana Shira. Havana Shira, let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Come 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 let us sing. Havana Shira. Sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Oh, Havana Shira. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so great to be here with all of you. It's wonderful to be here at B'nai Moshe. We're going to bring in Shabbat together. I'm really excited to get to bring in Shabbat with all of you. It's nice to be back in the room with people and to be back singing together. And it's nice to be with everybody who's with us joining online. Also, we're going to start with Yedid Nefesh, which Rabbi Cantor is going to call the page for in a second. But the idea with this prayer is that we're making our way towards Shabbat. And I think Rabbi Cantor mentioned that he talks to you often about how each one of these 6 Psalms that lead up to Lachadodi are a moment of preparation, where we let go of what's happening from each one of those days. So on the first Psalm, we let go of what was happening on Sunday. On the second Psalm, we let go of what was happening on Monday. We make our way towards Shabbat, trying to enter Shabbat the way that we want to enter into Shabbat. It's hard. Shabbat's going to happen either way, right? Shabbat's going to be here. Shabbat's going to arrive. And we have to figure out how we want to be when we enter into Shabbat. Which version of ourselves do we want to be? And what do we want Shabbat to provide for us? Do we want it to provide rest? Do we want it to provide energy? Do we want it to provide re-energization? What do we want it to be for us? Do we want it to provide community, family? So we're going to make our way towards Shabbat. And as we make our way through each one of these Psalms, try and let yourself think of, what do you need to be able to be present here? And what do you need to be able to have Shabbat be what you need Shabbat to be? So we're going to start with Yedid Nefesh, and these words are a deep, beautiful love song. You look at the words of the second verse, Hadur Na'eh Ziv Ha'olam, O glorious, radiant spark of the universe, Nafshi Cholat Ahavatech, my soul is sick with longing for you. It's a beautiful, beautiful love poetry. And sometimes on a Friday afternoon, those aren't the words that I'm ready to say when I walk into the sanctuary, right? This like deep, powerful love poetry. It's been a really long week. I've been running all over the place. The challahs just came out of the oven. Everything's a little bit crazy. And I need a moment to gather myself. And I saw some nods and some smiles, right? These are familiar feelings, right? We're entering into Shabbat and we want to figure out how we can be ready for Shabbat. So we're going to start with a nigun, a wordless melody, and we're going to allow ourselves just to sing it a few times until we're ready to enter into these words the way we want to say these words, with the emotions that we actually want to pray them with. So we're going to start with Yedid Nefesh on page
54.
And again, we'll begin with this nigun. Hopefully some of these melodies will be super familiar. I know you've been using them all summer. And if something is unfamiliar, just give yourself a moment to just listen and then allow yourself to jump in whenever you feel ready. All of these are meant to be sung along as a community. So, Yedid Nefesh, O lover of my soul, let's make our way into Shabbat together. Ay, 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 Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Meshuch Avdach El Ritzonach O Yarutz Avdach Kemo Ayal Yishtachave El Mul Adarach O Yerablo Yedidutach Minofetzuv Vechotam Ay 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 Hadur Na'eh Ziv Ha'olam Nafshi Cholat Ahavatach O Ana Elna Rifana La Beharot La Noam Zivach Oh, az titchazek v'titrapeh v'hayitalach shivchat olam Ay 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 Vatigyemu rachameh lechusna al ben ohavach, al ben ohavach, hoki zekama, nichsov nichsaf lirot, betiferet uzach, tiferet uzach. Oh, Ana Eli, Machmad Libi, Chushana, Ve'avti Tala. Ay, 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 Sukat Shelomach, O Ta'ir Eretz Mikevodach Nagid La V'nismech Havach O Maherahu Kivan Moed V'chodeinim Ki me'olam. Ay, 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 We'll turn together page 55. So look at the words of Lechuna Ranana. And these words are words that we're going to sing tonight and we're going to sing tomorrow night. They are also appear in the Slichot liturgy. And they're words about movement. They're words about going out, about finding a way to get ready. And I was davening down here during Mincha and looking up at this beautiful bima and noticing the ark, which I'm sure all year long does not have this ark cover. Is that correct? Right. So, and when you look at an ark that has this beautiful white cover and says the words "Unetana tokef kedushat hayom" on it, you know that something very important is happening. It's about to come up. This iconic prayer, "Unetana tokef," always, right, the first thing that you think of is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's just Rosh Hashanah is just sitting right there. These powerful words. Today is going to be a holy day. And so this Lechuna Ranana is about waking ourselves up and finding a way to move with intention towards the high holidays. I think Judaism in general is about awareness. It's about noticing the things that are happening in our lives and marking them in time. That's what a bracha is. When we say a bracha, we say this moment is important. So we light candles, we say a bracha. We see a beautiful rainbow, we say a bracha. You meet a new person for the first time, you say a bracha. Our lives as Jews are meaning-making lives. How can we find moments and live them with intention? And that's what these words are all about. It's about trying to open up our eyes and say, I'm not going to walk through life the same way I always walk through life. Even if I'm taking the same steps I always take, let's open up our lives and live it with intention. How can I walk towards the high holidays and figure out how I can be the best version of myself in the weeks to come, the days to come, and this year to come? So we'll sing Lechuna Ranana, and the word that we're going to shout out together, that we're going to call out, is this word, Nariya. Can we try that word? Nariya. Yes, Nariya means let's sing, let's exalt, let's shout out, let's wake ourselves up, let's celebrate. So when we get to that word, hopefully you'll all really bring it out together. We'll find a way to make our way with joy, with energy, with awareness towards Shabbat and the high holidays. Page 55. Ranena l'Adonai Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya, litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Nariya, litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Bizmirot nariya lo. Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Nariya litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Nariya litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Bizmirot nariya lo. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena l'Adonai. Lechu niranena l'Adonai. Nariya litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Nariya litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda. Bizmirot nariya lo. Bizmirot nariya lo. Bizmirot nariya lo.
You all know it. Page 57, Shiru Ladonai, sing a new song.
Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo. Basru miyom leyom yeshuato. Sapru b'goyim kevodo. B'chol ha'amim nilotav. Ki gadol Adonai, u'me'olam me'od. Norahu al kol Elohim, ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim. V'Adonai shamayim asar, hod v'hadar lefanav v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Havu l'Adonai mishmechot amim, havu l'Adonai kavod la'oz. Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo. Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'har ha'kodesh, chilu mipanav kol haaretz. Imru b'goyim, Adonai malach, avtikon tevel ba'altimot. Yadi navi b'meshalom, v'yasneru hashamayim v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam u'melo, yalo zadai v'chol ha'sheva. Az yiranenu kol hatzeyah lifnei Adonai kiva lishmot haaretz, yishmot
say every week, sometimes the words in the Siddur get in the way of what the prayer is supposed to do. Sometimes the words inspire us, but sometimes they confuse us. And so sometimes we need to let go of the words because we have too many. Each psalm, a different day of the week, but for this psalm, we let go. We join in a nigun. We've been singing the same nigun for almost a year, 9 months, and now we're going to sing it with the man who wrote it.
Ay, 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 ay,
Page 61, Zamru Laranai Bechinor.
Zamru Adonai Bechinor, Bechinor, Bekol Zimra. Zamru Adonai Bechinor, Bechinor, Bekol Zimra. Zamru Adonai Bechinor, 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 Vekol Zimra. Zamru l'Adonai, Bechinor, Bechinor, Vekol Zimra. Zamru l'Adonai, Bechinor, Bechinor, Vekol Zimra. Zamru l'Adonai, Bechinor, Bechinor, Vekol Zimra.
Page 64. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. Said, Hi, our God, Adonai. Bow by the holy mountainside. Adonai, our God, is sanctified. Join with us. Let go. Let go of Thursday as you sing Romemu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Adonai Eloheinu Romemu, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
We rise as we turn. Page 65, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod va'od, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Shachavu l'Adonai be'adrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al hamayim rabim, Kol Adonai Kol Adonai behadak, Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayeshaber Adonai et arzei avanu, vayarkidem kemo egel Lebanon, Nesirion, Kemo venerei, Kol Adonai chotze lavotesh, Kol Adonai adil midbar, Yachil Adonai Kadesh, Kol Adonai Echol Elayalo, Mayel Besor, Yeharot, Uvehecholot, Kulo Omer Kabo, Ay, Kol Adonai, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain Adonai Yevarech Et Amo B'Shalom Yedirai ay 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 nay nay ay 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 nay 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 ay 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 nay 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 ay nay 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 ay nay nay ay 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 nay ay nay 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 ay nay 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 nay
Seated as we prepare to greet the guest of honor.
Here we are. We've arrived. Shabbat is here. 6 Psalms in. Now here we are at Lecha Dodi, this moment that we've all been waiting for. And I've been trying to think about ways that the parasha that we read each week, Parashat HaShavua, can influence the words of our Siddur. Because the words that we read in each of our tefillot, in each of our services, are the same every single week. So the only thing that changes is us. Right? Every week you come to it with a new version of yourself. You've had new memories, you've had new experiences. You're a different version of you than you were the last time you approached these words, whether it was last Shabbat or whether it was 8 months ago or a year ago or 10 years ago. Whenever the last time you approached these words, you're a different version now. And so if we can think about where we are in our story, the story of the Jewish people, hopefully it can help us figure out where we are in our personal journeys and where we need to be as we move our way through the world. So this week we're reading Parashat Ki Tavo, which is the parasha that we always read right before we do Slichot on a Saturday night. It's the parasha that leads us into the high holidays. Ki Tavo el haaretz, because you're going to arrive in this land. And it's a parasha of anticipation. Right? The people of Israel are standing, they're right outside of the Jordan River, and they're about to come into the land of Israel. And they're trying to figure out what's it going to be like when they get there. And the Hasidic masters always try to read the Torah portion and try to read all of the things that we learn in a way that impacts us individually, personally, and spiritually. And the Netivot Shalom, one of my favorite Hasidic commentators, adds a word to that sentence. He says, Ki tavo el haaretz ha'elyonah, when you arrive at that elevated land. And when he says something like that, he doesn't just mean the land of Israel. He means a spiritual plane. And the spiritual plane that he's talking about is Shabbat. That it's not actually a physical land only that they're approaching. It's what it would feel like to be in this elevated spiritual place, this place of Shabbat. He imagines, what would it be like to be in that spiritual place? And he goes all the way back to the first people, to Adam and Eve, and he looks at them and says, the place that they were in, the Garden of Eden, wasn't only a physical place. Right? They arrived in the Garden of Eden when? Right before Shabbat. Right? They get there on Friday, and the first thing they get to experience is Shabbat. So it's not only this beautiful garden, it's this gorgeous palace in time, as Heschel would call it. Right? It's this beautiful, beautiful spiritual space that they get to inhabit. And we're about to inhabit it also. We're going to spend these next 25 hours together. We're going to be spending a lot of time. We got Shabbat morning. We have right now, we have this dinner. We have some learning and singing together. We have Shabbat. Hopefully you'll join us. Hopefully you'll join us in the afternoon also. And we'll make our way out of Shabbat into the high holidays, right? That moment when Shabbat ends and Slichot begins is the moment where we flip that switch for ourselves and say, Rosh Hashanah is coming, right? Now is our time to approach. And in the high holidays, we have a lot of different metaphors for ways that we talk about God. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King. We talk about God as judge. We ask ourselves if we're going to be viewed as children or as slaves. We ask for atonement. We ask to be forgiven. And on Shabbat, we actually talk about God mostly as a lover. And the idea, I think, is that if we're able to be in conversation more often, there's less anticipation for what that experience is going to be like when you approach the King of Kings, right? If you just approach once a year, you feel very distant. You feel like you don't have a relationship. But if we're here on Shabbat, if we're here singing these beautiful melodies, if we're here building this connection, then approaching the King, we were there last week. So it doesn't really matter if we're there this week too. That'll be really nice. We'll get to spend some more time with the King that we love. And so what would it be like if we approached the high holidays like we were greeting an old friend, like we were greeting someone royal and special, but who we get to see all the time? That's the kind of feeling we'd love to have, ideally, if we were entering the high holidays. So what we're going to try and do for these last couple of Psalms, these last moments of entering into Shabbat, is imagine what it would feel like to really greet Shabbat with love, to greet this experience as holy and spiritual, to lift ourselves up and try and reach the Aretz HaElyonah. Not just the physical plane, not just arriving here in this physical space in this beautiful sanctuary, but to arrive on a spiritual level of what Shabbat could feel like. So we're going to make our way into Lecha Dodi now. We'll start with this elevated, energetic melody, and then we'll pause and we'll slow it down as we really feel Shabbat arrive into our homes, into our congregation, and into our hearts. Turn to page 68. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala, hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat nekabela. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala, hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat nekabela. Hay lecha lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha, Ishmi'anu elam meyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemo letiferet v'litila, V'lecha dodi, Dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, pene Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki meko habiracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava tila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, pene Shabbat nekabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, u'mitzei mitoch ha'afecha, Rav lach shevet ve'amek habata, ve'hu yachamol alaychem ba. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, pene Shabbat nekabela, ki t'na'ari ye'afarku milim shebigdei tifar techamim, haya v'nishai ve'alachti korba el nafshi ge'ala. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, pene Shabbat nekabela, toreri, kiva orech u'miori, uri, shir kadamei, yevod Adonai alaychem ba. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat, pene Shabbat nekabela.
want to hear you. Welcome in light of Shabbat in our souls, in our hearts, in our bodies, and in the world. It says in the Talmud that the light of Shabbat is equal to peace in the home. For if you have light, where people can enjoy, where people can celebrate, where people can laugh, play, sing, and love, then there will be peace. And so I invite anybody who would like to come up and add light to our Shabbat by lighting the candles of Shabbat. Lighting as Michelle Siegel lights the candles for the community.
The second box would be easy. Oh, as we say in my family, I loosen the lid. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
We continue at the bottom of page 73, a psalm of Shabbat, Tzadik Katamar, the righteous flourish like the palm.
We're going to sing this melody, which is hopefully very familiar to many people. And we're going to try and do a Hayashan Yitchadesh, renewing something that might feel very old. And what we're going to do is we're going to sing out this melody, and we're just going to try and hold on to all the notes. So we're going to sing it a little more slowly than you might be familiar with. But see if when you can do it, you can just kind of step into the melody a little bit more and just immerse yourself in what the words are trying to say, being lifted up like a palm tree as we age, being planted in a place of righteousness. It goes like this. Sadikatamar Yifra Ke'erez Balvanon Yiskeh Shetuli יפריחו. עוד ינון בשיבה דשנים ורעננים להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא המלצה בו.
We turn to page 74. And as I've said, we had 7 Psalms for 7 days of the week, but God gives us an extra piece of soul, and so we have to have an extra psalm.
So we're just going to sing from the middle of this psalm. That middle paragraph, you see, Nasu neharot Adonai. And these words are all about how there's a lot of noise in the world around us, right? Louder than the crashing rivers, than the crashing waterfalls, louder than all of that is the voice of God. Mikolot ma'im rabim, even louder than all of these crushing waters. Our water can get pretty loud. And nowadays, I feel like we're surrounded a lot of time by a lot of noise. There's a lot of news and static and social media and radio and airwaves and just a lot of things that are taking up our time and attention. And it's very hard sometimes to find a way to just tone it all down. A lot of cars don't have those like radio dials anymore, but does anyone remember the radio dials, right? Where you have to change the channel. And that's what we're going to try and do with this last psalm is as we're making our way into Shabbat, just try and tone down all the rest of the noise and try and find the voice of God, which we say that it's very, very loud, but sometimes it can really feel like a kol dmama daka, a very, very tiny, thin voice. And so you really have to turn everything else down in order to change the frequency, to get into the frequency of Shabbat, of holiness, of that Aretz HaElyonah. So we're going to make our way onto this rocky boat. This melody kind of feels like you're on a ship. And as we do, as we navigate these waters, we're going to try and find a way to navigate ourselves towards holiness, towards Shabbat, towards community. Ay, 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 ay,
Adonai, Nasu neharot kolam. Nasu neharot Adonai, Yisu neharot toch yam. Mikolot ma'im rabim, adirim mishbereyam. Mikolot ma'im rabim, adir b'marom Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, ay, ay, Adonai, 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 ay, ay, Adonai. Edotecha nemenu meod, leveitcha nava kodesh, Adonai leorech yamim. Adonai, Adonai, As we begin Shabbat Kodesh, we begin the 21st of Elul, September 17th. We remember Rochelle Grant, the sister-in-law of Barbara Grant, and the aunt of Susan Broman. We remember Larry Stein, the husband of Sally Stein. And we remember Faye Steinberger, the mother of Susan Brown. May their memories continue to be a blessing as we elevate souls higher in the heavens, closer to our hearts, mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rava, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol, Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv, ve'emru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha v'richu ela minku birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'yemru Amen. Yehei shlama rava min shamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael emru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'emru Amen. At this point, we are going to, now that we've formally welcomed in Shabbat, we are going to engage in the evening service for Shabbat, which begins on page 77, and we rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. Let me get a microphone that will pick you up, because right now there isn't one. I don't know where
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach leolam vahed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed.
Please be seated. A prayer for the coming of the evening.
Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamidim loch aleinu leolam vaed, Baruch ata Adonai, hamari v'aravi.
Amen. Page 78, a prayer of love before the Shema.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Adonai Eloheinu Ve'avatcha tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad Ve'yavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'b'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beininecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha.
We continue silently through pages 80, 81, and 82.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Ve'emuna the bottom of page 84, we join together.
Umalchuto beratzon kibelu alehem Moshe u'bnei Yisrael lecha anu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam Michamocha ba'elim Adonai Michamocha nedar ba'kodesh Nora tehilot osef ele Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Ze'eli anu ve'yameru anu ve'yameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Yenai nai 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 Yenai nai 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 Tira nai 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 Ai nai 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 V'nemar kifar Adonai et Yaakov Ugelom yad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Ka'al Yisrael
Hashkivenu, a prayer of protection through the night from that which scares us, haunts us, prevents us from achieving our goals.
Ushmor tzeitenu v'leinu l'chaim l'shalom etaviad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
We rise for the declaration of Shabbat, Veshamru, page 86.
Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
The Chatzi Kaddish followed by the silent Amidah, a chance to focus on the creation of the world and the recognition that in the creation of the world, God created rest, which we must take to our hearts.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא יברך קירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון ויומכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן הקריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם וליומי יומיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא Ve'itadar, ve'itale, ve'italal, shemei dekudesh abrichu, leila minakol birchata, ve'shirata, tushbechata, ve'nechemata, damiran ve'alma, ve'imeru, amen.
The Amidah beginning on page 88. We continue on page 99.
Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayechal Elohim vayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishpot vayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto ki Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Konesh Shamayim v'Haaretz Magen Avot bidvaro mechayei metim b'mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh ein kamohu Hameniach le'amo b'yom Shabbat kodsho ki v'amratza lehaniach lahem lefanav navod be'yira v'fachad v'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid ne'ona berachot Ela odaot Adon HaShalom mekadesh HaShabbat v'arach shevi umeniach b'kedusha le'amedu shnei oneg zecher le'maaseh bereshit Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Ritzei b'mnuchatenu, Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'ten chelkenu b'toratecha, Tzavenu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'taher libeinu le'ovdecha v'emet, V'anchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, Be'ahava u'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, Ve'yanuchu va'Yisrael Mekadeshei Shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Page 105, page 102.
Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, Be'alma divrach kertei, V'yamlich malchutei v'chaychon, V'machon v'cherech b'Yisrael, B'agalav izman kari v'eimeru.
Amen. Yesh mei Rabba mevorach, Leolam Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishterach v'yitbarach Rav v'neseh v'yitadar 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 shmei kudesha. Brichu leila mekor b'chatav shirata, tush b'chatav v'nachmata, damiran v'yama v'eimeru. Amen. Tikabot tzadon d'cho Yisrael, kadam avon v'ishma v'eimeru. Amen. Yehesh lam Rabbi min Shemai, v'chaim elenu v'elko Yisrael v'eimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'elko Yisrael v'eimeru.
Amen. If you're able, we remain standing for Aleinu on page 105.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latzeit kedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שונו את השמיים ויוצר הארץ רבן מקינו אפס ולתוך ואת היום כי אדוני עולים השמיים מעבר מתחתנו על כן נקמך לתקן עולם ומלכות שלנו Kakatu et Toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo,
We continue with the Psalm for the season of repentance, page 108. You may be seated.
אחת שאלתי את אדוני אותה אבקש, שבתי לבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, כי צפני מזיקו ביום רע אשר אביא זמרה לאדוני, שמר מכל יקלכם, לך אמר ליבי בקשו פניי ונקר מקבש לכם. אל תני בנפש שרה, לולא אמנתי לרבות אדוני בארץ חיים, קווה לאדוני חזק ואמץ ליבך וקווה לאדוני.
Those in a period of mourning, those observing the yahrzeit of a loved one, we elevate souls higher in the heavens, closer to our hearts. Mourner's Kaddish, page 111, and the screen we share in front of us. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. Yiparach v'yishtavach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei Kudsha Brechu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'emru amen. Yehi shlama rava min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Uyase shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Let me just very briefly tell you what the schedule is for the rest of the evening. And we will do all of our thank yous inside. So as soon as we finish with our last song here, we will immediately proceed into the social hall. I ask, there are no assigned seats other than the 2 reserved tables for the clergy and for the Unger Seagulls. There are no assigned seats, so please find a table as quick as you can. And as soon as I see that everybody is more or less around a table, we will start with Shalom Aleichem. We will start with blessing of children. We will continue with Kiddush and Motzi and dinner, beautiful dinner. And then after dinner, we will do Birkat Hamazon, and we will continue with a session with Rabbi Josh Warshawsky and singing, and a beautiful, beautiful evening. I'm very excited. Tomorrow morning, of course, services begin at 9. For those of you who usually show up for Aleinu, I would suggest, Aleinu is going to be at 9:30 tomorrow. Either we're going to go really fast or whatever. But nevertheless, I look forward to a wonderful day tomorrow. Of course, services at 9. Rabbi Warshawsky will be leading Musaf and giving the sermon. And then after that, we'll have a lunch. After lunch, we'll be back in here for a session with Rabbi Warshawsky and myself, talking about the future of North American synagogue life and music and all that is entailed. And of course, tomorrow at 9 p.m., our concert and slichot service. Actually, 8:45, we'll begin Mariv. So with that, I want you to imagine a world where there actually is peace, where there actually is the ability to reach out from one heart to the next, and that we see each other. I want you to imagine that. If you need to, which I often do, invite you to close your eyes for a second, because sometimes the world's too crazy to imagine it. So imagine. And once you imagine that, open your heart to the possibility and sing with us. Hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh, hey oh. Try that with us. Hey oh. Shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Let's hear you. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam. Pick your favorite part. Od
יבוא שלום עלינו והכל העולם עוד יבוא שלום עלינו Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in the social hall for Shabbat dinner.
Shalom. Yasher Koach.
It's not 7:23 yet. Can I light? Yes. There was too many people in chaos, so. Normally we don't light after you've done. Thank you so much. This is my only chance to light. Okay, thank you.